Hi everyone, welcome to your Author Pep Talk. This is a little different than the ones I usually do because I am clearly in a different location. So I wanted to make that the focus of my discussion today is what do you do to maintain your writing mojo, for lack of a better term, when you have a complete disruption in your routine. Whether that be something happens, as it often does with life, or if you are on vacation, like what I am at currently, perhaps there is a power outage or there is something that throws you off. How do you deal with that, and how do you keep getting your words in? Now, as you might be aware, I am in a location that does not have great internet access, so my ability to write is going to be different this week. Sometimes it's kind of fun to have a change in our routine, right? I am an old school writer in many ways. I have my trusty notebook with me pretty much anywhere I go. I am never without a pen. Usually I have 5 or 6 different colors, different notes. What can I say? The author life, I'm fully in it. But what do you do if you are used to your routine, or if you need that structure to feel successful? So I'm going to use what I'm doing this week as an example, and of course, your mileage may vary. One thing that I try to do is keep my micro rituals the same. I'm in a different time zone. I didn't have my chai, but I do have my mason jar of sparkly water. And I was able to do my 15 minutes and reread what I wrote yesterday, which was actual pages. I wrote them in my notebook. I actually wrote them outside. You guys can't see, but we have some Jersey calves that I get to bottle feed. So I got to go visit the calves, and then there is a nice little bench out by the barn, and I can see the bigger cows, but I can also see all of the fields. And I sat out there. It's already so hot compared to the Pacific Northwest. And I sat out there with my sparkly water, and I took my 15 minutes, my micro ritual. And that centered me that even though I'm on vacation, even though I am not going to write 5,000 words today, I am still able to get something done and feel grounded in my writing. The next thing that I do is I rely on my Pomodoros, because if you're on vacation or if there's things going on, I'm on a working farm right now. There's always something going on, and it's never quiet. We have people going in and out. There's the vehicles, the machinery, the animals. If you hear distantly, you might be able to hear the dogs going absolutely nuts, and the goats are making some noises. I can hear it, and I'm inside the house. So what I do is I find my Pomodoros, and instead of 23 minutes, which is my sweet spot, I take 17 minutes, or even sometimes as low as 12, because I can carve 12 minutes out here and there. And I simply work on big picture things. I am not going to be writing my dialogue this week. I'm not going to be doing very intricate world building, because all of those documents are kept on my tech, and I don't like rewriting. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to take a little amble up the hill so that I get signal, and I might leave myself voice messages on my phone on my way there so that I can still get my dictation in, even if it doesn't go directly into my document. I will write my world building in my notebook or my big picture stuff. I'll work out some of my ideas. Sometimes on vacation is when I give myself permission to play. So I may not work on my current Novel 90 project, even though today is the first day of writing. I might not be working on Goose Chase at all this week. Instead, I might be working on my honey badger shifter lawyer situation or something like that. I'm going to give myself permission to just write for the sake of writing. The other thing I recommend, if your writing routine suddenly changes, let's say there's a natural disaster or something big, I'm going to tell you that unless it's good for your mental health, it's not a writing day. You need to deal with what's in front of you. If it's you're on vacation, you've saved up, you're in a really cool place, if you want to go sit by the pool or go relax by a mountain lake or whatever your vacation is, maybe you're at a campsite and you don't want to write because you're on vacation, don't. I know it sounds kind of silly as a writing instructor and someone who's like, you need to get your words in, telling you not to write, but sometimes we need this creative recharge period. So at the end of all of this, because I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to actually upload, I'm going to go on a little walk with you. You guys are going to join me up at the upper pasture while I try to upload this. But I want you to pay attention to what your day is asking of you. I do want you to prioritize writing where it makes sense. But no matter what, we all have different things going on. If your routine is disrupted, it can feel almost impossible to make things happen. I want to encourage you to get extra creative in how you do that. If you have the capacity and it makes sense for where you are in this disruption, I still want you to write. Maybe it'll just be 3 pages of sketching out what a scene could look like if, I don't know, your characters are at a ball and they are meeting behind the shrubbery, the decorative shrubbery, and they're going to have a very snarky argument, a la Bridgerton. Sketch out what that looks like. Maybe you're the kind of person who takes inspiration from where you are. I know that in my Topaz Mountain series, which is going to be part of the Novel 90 series I'm working on, I'm probably going to have to write a baby goat into it because I don't get to be around baby goats very often, and I'm currently around them, and they're the cutest darn things I've ever seen in my life. Now I'm taking inspiration. I'm sketching out in my notebook, how do I incorporate baby goats into a small town protector romance? How I have full confidence I can do it because I have a goose attack for my first one, but maybe there's baby goats in this next one. Maybe there's a giant fluffy dog that looks like a filthy cloud walking around because the dog is a Pyrenees golden retriever mix and loves mud. Maybe that's a meet cute instead of just a, oh my gosh, why did you just spray mud on me, dog moment. You're taking inspiration from where you're at. So I want you to encourage yourself to give yourself grace. Sometimes things don't go as planned. I want you to prioritize your writing as it makes sense for your situation. I want you to be silly and lean into place, lean into setting, lean into the absurdity of having your morning ritual next to cows. I mean, I kind of like it. I'm a city girl, so I'm just like, this is so different than my normal, decorated office and having my desk is perfectly laid out. No, I have a mason jar and I'm hanging out with some cows. It's honestly kind of great. I want you to allow your mind to expand out to possibility if your routine gets disrupted. And I give you permission, if you need it, to say, I'm not going to write today for X number of reasons. Instead, I'm going to do one task, whether that be reread or think about something or brainstorm or make a list. I'm going to do one task that moves my author career forward, but I'm not going to write today. If you need to have that day and you need someone to tell you it's okay, then this is me doing that. So I am going to cut this short because I'm getting a little blinky light on my phone and I don't know why, but I hope that this little pep talk is something that brings you some level of peace this week as we start our writing month. If you are all ready to go and you're like, I am hitting the words, it's gonna happen, I want you to sit down and do some Pomodoros today. I want you to write and get that momentum going. And if you're still in the planning stage, it's okay. You're able, as long as we are moving forward, you are on track. So keep it up, happy writing, and I'll see you guys next week.